Hello, this is Rodney, Scar Not Silent. Hope you all doing good today. I'm going to stir away a little bit. I want to talk about the fight that happened over the weekend, Canelo versus Crawford. And I followed boxing for a long time, I did. And then I disappeared because it seemed the sport kind of wasn't like the heydays. Like when I was a kid, my family would never get the pay-per-view. Not because we couldn't afford it, just because I think my dad was cheap. Regardless, I always had a friend that lived down the street. Their family always got the fights. And so I remember going to see the Tyson fights. And if I was late, you missed the fight, basically. So I've always been a follower of boxing. The recent fight, Canelo and Crawford, has sparked my interest because I followed Crawford from the beginnings when he was boxing in Nebraska. So it was on TV. I wasn't there in person. And I thought about resiliency because he hasn't boxed for a while. I don't know how long that he wasn't boxing for or the reason why. And I thought about how, one, he maintained that. Two, he had to put on weight to fight Canelo. Like he went up three weight classes, which is very difficult in boxing, and it's really actually unheard of, mainly because to carry that extra weight and maneuver like you used to, it'll catch up with you eventually. Crawford was able to maintain the weight, and he obviously put on more muscle because it was noticeable. His speed and his endurance, which is all those things that usually disappear when you start to move up weight classes. I initially thought he just started working out like 6 months ago. I didn't realize he had been working out for a year already, which gave him not an advantage. He came in at a disadvantage, but it definitely gave him the knowledge to know how to work with his body and to perform in the ring like he did. He was able to keep his footwork, and most importantly, he was able to move around the ring as if he was at his lower weight class. And that helped him because Canelo wanted to get him in the corner. Crawford knew if he got in the corner, he could be able to get out before Canelo set up to attack him in the corner, and also leave a punch upside Canelo's face as he's moving around. But everybody told Crawford that he wasn't going to win the fight. Crawford wanted to fight for 2 years. He wanted to fight Canelo. And in boxing, if you have bad management, if you have a bad promoter, or if you're just a badass and nobody wants to fight you, it could take years off of your career. And pretty much that's where Crawford was at. So he was left to fight with whomever would fight him. And a lot of people was saying that Crawford was fighting nobodies. And in boxing, it just kind of keeps you out of the limelight for the big money fights. So resiliency that Crawford had to maintain that mindset along with his conditioning was amazing. And you go, well, what's this have to do with kidneys? So much if you read into it. As patients, we have to be resilient. And if you're not resilient, you'll learn to be resilient if you want to keep moving, if you want to keep living. We have to adjust daily by how we feel. If we're tired, we may have to get up. If you don't want to get up, you may have to find something within you to make you want to get up. You have your doctor's appointments. You have to go to those. Maybe you're able to do it virtually. If you want to go ahead and get on the kidney transplant list, there's so much work that you have to do, but it's not quick. You could be on the list and wait 6-7 years to get a kidney. That's being resilient. That is being resilient. Listen to me. It's those times when you say, I can't do it. And then the next thing that comes out of your mouth is, I got to do it. Resiliency. Not only did Crawford have to be resilient, he had to be brave. And this doesn't mean that Canelo wasn't brave, because Canelo had the most to lose in this fight, some would say. But maybe Crawford would have more to lose because he wasn't the champion. So both had to be brave to come in that ring. You have to be brave to face every day. You have to be brave to go and do your labs and wait maybe a couple of days for your results to come back. If you're on transplant, the hardest thing is to go into the doctors, get my lab work, and see if your kidney is still working, if it's starting to fail, or if there's some other things going on, like high blood pressure, diabetes, you have a higher risk of cancer. And it goes on and on and on and on. So when you go in to get your lab work, you're sitting there and you're Some people worry. And even if you're not worrying to the point of it's becoming an issue and it's preventing you to move forward with your life, it still comes into your head. In many ways, that's why we are called warriors, kidney warriors, because we go through the full process. As a boxer, we're not out there jogging and hitting the punching bag, but we're supposed to be working out, doing something to keep active. You're supposed to watch your nutrition. We're supposed to go get physicals, get checked up. In the meantime, we're fighting for our life. It was just my parallel moment. And I had watched the fight actually twice. And that was something that kept reoccurring with me, was resiliency and bravery, and how each of us are resilient and brave, even when you don't think you are and you don't think you could do it and you're crying every day. You're able to cry every day. You get up and cry every day. And eventually you'll stop crying and figure out now what I got to do. Caregivers, you're resilient and brave. Our medical teams are resilient and brave. Our nurses, I love our nurses. I've had more contact with nurses than doctors, and that's even in the professional field. I tell everybody, when you go to the hospital, you treat your nurses like gold. Even if you get a little snotty nurse, sometimes you get a snotty nurse. But if you maintain being nice, they might slip you an extra pudding or something like that. You might get is it 12 o'clock in the morning? Can I get a snack? Type of nurse. You might change her into that nurse. Even when you're probably not supposed to have pudding, you get you one good pudding. So that's what I was thinking about. And I wanted to share that with you. I have these thoughts sometimes. Like I said, I have these deep thoughts. I get to share them with you, which is excellent. Also, I have the book out, When Tales Become Stars. It's on Amazon right now. Check that out. Keep it. It's about a little girl losing her pet, Brownie, who's a dog. And there's a bunch of different activities so you could work through those tough, difficult times when pets pass away. And parents or caregivers, especially for you, to help that child navigate through those tough times. So it gives you both resources. All right. Thank you for being here. Once again, I'll see you. We'll keep it moving. I might break in for a special announcement here and there, but we'll keep it moving. And you know what? If you're listening to me, if you woke up, you have a purpose. Bye. And the male nurses, I appreciate you as well. I know I said they and she and they was encompassing everyone, but I wanted to specifically say the male nurses, thank you. Y'all been awesome. And even you guys has given me some pudding. I appreciate it. Thank you.